Scott with SJWellfire.com, Final Days Report, episode 488. We're calling this VCast, Are You Ready? Folks, they're destroying the oil system, which ultimately destroys the economy. And get ready for the war script. Get ready for false flags. They want you in their smart city. They want to bring on this Mark of the Beast control system at all costs. Now, the first story I want to cover about building this beast system is SpaceX. A little bit old, but I want to go over the line items, how people that actually put their money into SpaceX are going to be enslaved by it. We are funding the enslavement system. Again, SpaceX, the biggest IPO in the history of the world. And I wonder if that actually accounts for inflation. It's just a question. But here's where this is about the beast system. We have Starlink subscriber growth in new markets. It's the biggest line item, valued up to $350 billion. Space, and if you believe in biblical cosmology, this is a joke. Starships enabling cheaper frequent launches, point-to-point Earth transport, lunar Mars missions, good luck with that, is 10% roughly of the valuation. But then we have up to 600 billion, actually that's the largest, 200 to 600 billion. The AI infrastructure, compute, leasing, data centers, some bank projections see trillions in long-term revenue. This is nothing short of the beast system. Now let's continue down the road of this pump and dump. The high and the drop after opening at $150 and peaking at $225, SpaceX stock tumbled into a multi-day sell-off that erased over $600 billion in market value in under 2 weeks. Now here's where I'm putting some pieces together, because the war is back on. Bases, actually, right before I came on, it appears some oil refineries were hit in the Middle East. But I just thought this was fascinating. Do you remember when people were seeing the strange drones over New Jersey and New York? I'm going to read a quick headline because I think we're getting set up for an Iranian false flag with this war script. USA has to be destroyed. We're bankrupt. We're insolvent. Iranian mothership isn't behind drone sightings over New Jersey, Pentagon says. Republican Jeff Van Drew said high sources told him Iran launched a mothership off America's eastern coast about a month ago. That always stuck with me. Like, what's the psyop behind this? And then, this is interesting. Report, downed U.S. fighter pilot saw Iranian drones move like jellyfish. Real alien SHIT. And now the war's back on? I expect a false flag to hit the United States. Either terror cells activated and or a missile strike. Or both. And the war on oil is so evident. It's so evident. In the United States, we have no clue. Now, recently, I think where I live in Florida, it's $4 a gallon. And I was driving around a diesel truck, not semi-truck, but one of those transport vehicles. I went to 2 gas stations and couldn't find diesel. I'm like, what is going on just recently? But the Strategic Petroleum Reserve has fallen to its lowest level since April 1983, leaving the U.S. emergency crude cushion thinner after months of war-related releases. The decline does not signal an immediate diesel or gasoline shortage, but it reduces the national backstop behind refineries, terminals, and fuel supplies. Tight commercial crude, gasoline, and distillate inventories make refinery utilization, Gulf Coast logistics, and global crude flows more important to watch. I just heard an expert say these reserves are going to be out by September. War on the old system. Russia has been hit twice in the last 3 weeks. I just want to play this quick video. I think this is in Moscow. Nuts. Looks like Armageddon. Black smoke everywhere. So they're destroying the old for the great reset. Make everybody poor. It's like they're bringing on the SEALs. And personally, from that dream I had in 2008, The Antichrist will come on as a hero after the scripted war and launch free energy. But I thought this was alarming from the Ice Age farmer who follows the food industry. Farmers in Russia report they can no longer get diesel. Suppliers are diverting fuel to Western cities while rural areas are left dry. Even officials warn they must prepare for complete closure of agriculture in the region. You think about Russia, the wheat and bread basket of the world. This is all a script, my friends. And the last story I want to cover, this is daunting. I have a couple of Christian friends. I was talking about how they're aligning, and we've covered this before, the militaries of Israel and the United States. And think about ICE being trained by Israel, police forces being trained by Israel. Think about the Palantir targeting system of Gazans called the gospel. People have no clue who runs the world, who runs the kings of the earth. And the Noahide Laws that will get Christians' heads beheaded. House Republicans block vote on amendment to halt U.S. Israel military integration. So Republicans controlling the House Rules Committee have refused to allow a floor vote on the bipartisan amendment seeking to block the integration of the U.S. and Israeli militaries. This means Israel is going to run our military. All the debt from the wars is nuts when you actually add it all up on the behest of Israel. The proposed U.S. Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative would accelerate U.S. Israeli technology sharing, co-production of weapon systems, and partnerships on military use of artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and more. This is your AIB system. An amendment by California Democrat Ro Khanna and Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie would have removed the initiative from the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. They're not even going to vote on it. Congressmember Khanna spoke out Tuesday after Republican leaders refused to make the amendment eligible for debate. They don't even represent you, my friends, at all. This is crazy stuff. One of my friends said, when is it going to be time to get out of this country? In an article from Blazing Press News, this entangles our military in whatever Israel chooses to do. From a former congressman, Dennis Kucinich, warned that the new NDAA language risks tying the U.S. military to Israel's future wars. I think it's worse than that. I think this is about the Noahide system. This is about the surveillance state. This is about technocracy. They want to go to war against Egypt. They want to go to war against Turkey as part of the Zionist expansion. The NDAA's draft section 224 calls for deeper U.S.-Israeli defense technology cooperation, including research, development, integration, information sharing, and joint military readiness efforts. He warns that Israel, when they start a war, U.S. gets dragged in, U.S. citizens become targets for Netanyahu's agenda. It's basically a license to kill that Israel has. But then how does this fit biblically? It's my question. And if you follow our ministry, Jerusalem sits on 7 hills. Jerusalem killed the prophets, right? She sits on 7 mountains, and it's the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Who reigns over the kings of the earth? She sits on many waters, which are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. That makes sense. A vast multinational reach. Merchants of the earth grow rich through her luxury, trade, commercial dominance. Who dominates finance and industry and banking? She's drunken with the blood of the saints. This is the one that's key for me. A persecutor of believers specifically. Revelation 18:24. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth, as a past tense element. But then you go to the Old Testament, 1 Kings 19:10, Elijah says, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Matthew 23:37 from Jesus. O Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. This to me has of all time element to it, right? The verse Revelation 18:24 says, Babylon has the blood of prophets and saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth found in her. The key comparison, Jesus used almost identical wording in Matthew 23:35, all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. He explicitly meant the whole historical span from Abel to Zacharias. Same kind of phrase, same sweeping scope. What this suggests, Revelation's whore isn't just guilty of killing people in one moment or one empire's reign. She's described as carrying the accumulated guilt of persecuting the righteous throughout history, echoing Revelation 17:6, where she's drunken with the blood of the saints, not just the lightly stained. So you need to think about this joining, because many people think Revelation 18 is about the USA. So after this destruction, again, I think the Antichrist will take power after these scripted wars, after people are so desperate, and launch this technocracy beast system, this brain-computer interface, this internet of bodies, this internet of things. It's a script, my friends. It's a complete script. Straits of Hormuz is being closed again. One tanker has 1 million barrels of oil, but they need 100 million barrels of oil for daily consumption across the world. Think of the fertilizer being destroyed or not being purchased. You're living in it, my friends. This is a take down. What a great time to be alive. God bless. Please share old school conversation, post-it notes, bumper stickers, letters, and have a blessed day. Sorry for the long delay. Our little good news, the NDAA did not pass, breaking, but the bad news is typically when the NDAA does not pass, they just go back and negotiate. It seems like it's more about the total of dollars being spent, trillion, 1.5, 1.3 trillion, whatever it is.